I'm going to give you my 3 tips on how I went from amateur filmmaker to owning such an established business in a short amount of time. So tip number 1 is retainers. Now retainers are a lifeline, and for any growing company, or if you're just starting out, you need to get some clients on a retainer instantly, because scenarios like we've got now with the coronavirus is the exact reason why we can remain as a business and continue moving forward. So we need to get those clients onto retainers. And how do we do that? Well, firstly, I'm going to explain to some of you who might just be starting out what a retainer is. So a retainer is typically a monthly fee a client pays in return for your services. So we may offer a client 5 videos a month for a fee, and they will be on a contract for 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 years, depending on what you've agreed with that client. So it means that you have a continual stream of revenue coming through. And what that also allows you to do as a growing business is know exactly how much money you're guaranteed to come in through the door each month, so that you can look to employ staff or reinvest in equipment. So how do we get those clients onto retainers? Now, initially, every project will come in as a one-off project where you deal with a client for the first time and you run a project with them. It's how you account manage that and how you look after that client that really moves them over onto retainer. Very rare will a client sign a year deal with you. It's not uncommon. It has happened. We have 2 clients that we've done that with. However, it is easier to work on the back of a project that you've already filmed. So it's finding out what the client needs, and this has to be completely based around them and not what you necessarily think. Because in a year's time, you need to make sure that you've delivered everything that that client has needed and wanted and above, and then they will continue signing with you. And normally for their initial time, they'll just go on a year-long contract, and the next time they'll sign, you can put them on a 2, 3, 4, 5-year contract, depending on what they need. So find out what their needs are, and then just ask them that question, and if they're interested. Now here's the key bit of information. You need to offer a heavily discounted rate, because they're not going to pay for your full whack services for a whole year, because it's pointless. You need to make it really appealing. Now don't forget, it's not counterproductive, because the chances of that client using you every month is slim. Most clients are going to use you maybe 4 times a year. And what you're asking them to do is to use you effectively 12 times a year. So come up with an allowance with them, put a heavily discounted figure, so you work out what you would usually charge and then work out the discounted rate and put that to them. And often they'll take your hand off because they know they're getting a great deal. Now my second tip is to do with how to get clients. We can all do with more clients, so whether you're starting out and you just don't know how to get clients, or you're an established business and you want more clients, here is my top tip, and it's really simple. Find a product that you are interested in. Go to page 5 or later, or Google, don't do anything from 1 to 4, page 5 or later, and start emailing those people as cold outreaches. So you're a cold email, effectively picking up the phone and emailing them as a cold caller. Now, there's stuff around sales, and I'm going to do more videos on this, okay? But don't be frightened. What you have to offer can seriously benefit the company. And it doesn't matter if you don't have the best cameras or you are just starting out. That is just reflected in your pricing. So offer them, reach out. All of these small companies and startup companies need content. We're in a content world where content is king, so they need your services. Page 5 or later, your response rate is drastically higher, okay? So Google a product that you're interested in, because that always helps, and send an email and then pick up the phone if they don't reply, and begin those conversations. So that's another top tip there that really accelerated our growth. So my tip number 3 is processes. Now processes sounds quite boring, but it's something that every person must do. If they want to go from amateur filmmaker to running a full-scale company, you need to have processes, and here's why. They ensure that you're efficient in all areas. Time is money, so there's no point in charging a day of filming, a day of editing, and then looking at your processes and thinking, you're getting it wrong, you're coming back with lots of amendments. You need to make sure you're getting no amendments and you're hitting the nail on the head first time. And how do you do that? It's your processes, it's your pre-production planning and those things. And this is something we haven't told anyone. And these are tried and tested processes that we use here and that I've taught, and it's taken us years to get this right. But it works. And we have a process for everything, whether it's an events company, it's pre-production, sales, after sales, up sales, marketing, a process for everything. And I'm gonna share with you the processes that we use for filming. So as soon as you have a client that's interested in a product, what you're gonna do is you're gonna send them over 3 questions that is in your briefing document. So firstly, what are they expecting for the product or for the shoot? The second one is you need to find out what inspiration have they got. Most people will always have inspiration. This is really important because it means that you're not gonna miss the goal at the end of it, because you don't want to be doing a reshoot because that's not efficient, okay? So you're going to find out what inspiration they want. And then also you need to find out where do they want it. Now this really is an obvious point, but I bet you all miss it out. Where's it intended for? Is it the websites? Is it optimized for social media? Are we talking vertical? Are we talking square? Try not to shoot everything wide so that you can then cut it down after. Try to shoot specifically for where it's for and have that conversation. This really shows the customer as well how on the ball you are and how professional you are. So they will appreciate these questions. Then a day before the shoot, you're going to phone the client, and this is good, solid client handling, where you're going to phone them and make sure everything's fine and that they're all happy ahead of the shoot. Any last minute questions or worries or concerns that they have. This isn't about you, it's about them and what they want. You conduct the shoot. Then the day after the shoot, you are going to send them an email telling them that it's the best shoot you've been on. You need to make them feel valued. And this is really important. Most people come away from a shoot really excited to start the edit and pull it all together. So let them know that. Tell them that you're excited because it's their product. This is their living and their livelihood. So make sure that you're all in this together. Once you've got the edit together, you're going to send it over to them as a first draft. Never send it as, we're really happy that this is completed. Always send it with some kind of disclaimers. Outline some things that you're unsure about or not quite happy about, or things that you are not 100% on, okay? There's nothing worse than a client receiving a video or a photo and the person giving it to them saying, this is perfect. And the client looking at it and thinking, it's not, because that's going to make their trust in you go down drastically. So manage those expectations. You're then going to handle a round of amendments, and chances are you've hit the nail on the head. Try not to send the videos through WeTransfer as well. Use an upload like Vimeo, pay for Vimeo Pro where you can use review tools, because again, it's gonna take you longer if you're having to export, upload and send new versions all the time. So just upload to Vimeo straight from Premiere Pro or your editing software. It's gonna save you a lot of time. And chances are you've hit the nail on the head, and now you've just set yourself up for my top tip, which was top tip number 1, of then moving that client onto a retainer so that you now have a successful growing business that is scalable. Now, if any of this has resonated with you, then I want you to join our Perspective Academy Facebook group. We're also going to be sharing videos on the group about successes, failures, live Q&As with freelancers, business owners and agencies, so that you have everything you need to give this the best shot possible. If you're serious about making money and doing what you love, then hit the link in the description, and I look forward to accepting your request into the group.